Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome you to the 75th Wise Views Leadership Conversation. Today, we have an exciting leader with us from the electric vehicle industry, Mr. Uday Narang. You are going to really enjoy this conversation, I'm sure, but we'll start with the presentation. And much before the presentation, we will start with this brief introduction to this wonderful guest that we have. But please join me in welcoming Mr. Uday Narang. Welcome, sir. Thank you.
It's exciting times. Obviously a lot is going on, but thank you so much. I want to say thank you to ICFAI Online for having me here, and look forward to having a quick presentation, hopefully, and then a lot of questions on what people want to know about this exciting, industry we're in, and hopefully I'm going to be able to charge you all up, for a Friday evening. Thank you.
Wonderful. We are eagerly waiting to hear from you, sir. Now, I will share my screen and do the brief introduction. Allow me to share my screen, please. I hope it's visible. We have Mr. Uday. He's going to speak about electric vehicles in India, the priorities and pitfalls. We will take this up to 25 minutes, followed by another 30-40 minutes of Q&A moderated by myself and Professor R. Prasad. These questions are actually curated and landscaped based on what the participants have keyed in at the time of registration. This handsome and energetic Mr. Uday Narang is here with us. He has been the driving force behind the growth and expansion of the Anglian Omega Group. Presently, he is heading Anglian Omega Group, which comprises Omega Bright Steel, one of India's largest bright bar steel manufacturing companies, and Yashdeep Automotive. He has more than 15 years of experience in the industry and is a firm believer in what is called collaborative leadership. About Omega Seiki Mobility, Mr. Uday Narang conceptualized and introduced electric vehicle company, that is Omega Seiki Mobility, in 2018 and has been actively involved in the electric vehicle business since. Omega Seiki Mobility aims to create sustainable mobility solutions with integrated approach of connecting automobiles and the society. I repeat, the integrated approach of connecting automobiles and the society. The company is the first OEM to have 2, 3, and 4-wheelers in its portfolio, and has set a large-scale manufacturing facility in Delhi NCR, also in Pune, and now looking to expand in Chennai. The company is a leading last-mile service provider with under its brand Uno Express. The company is currently running its fleet in 25 cities, doing more than 15 lakh kilometers per month. This is pretty impressive. OSM, in collaboration with Haryana government, opened a dedicated COVID-19 oxygen hospital at Sanjay Colony, Faridabad. Omega Seiki Mobility airlifted oxygen concentrators from South Africa, which can cater to 30 patients at a time. That's human service, Mr. Uday. Medicines and food were provided free of charge to all patients. The Narang family, founders of Ramditi Jeevandaram Public Charitable Trust, formed with the idea of providing education and health services for disadvantaged sections of society, and Anglian Omega Group, also working in rural development by supporting artisans and encouraging grassroots entrepreneurship in these areas. The trust, in collaboration with Deepalaya and the Community Library Project, opened a school for the underprivileged children. The school is still 8th standard, provides free education and food to underprivileged children. The school makes learning available to over 650 students every single year. Fantastic. Under the leadership of Mr. Uday, Omega Seiki Mobility has received many awards. Some of them from the Economic Times, Machinist, E-Mobility Plus, Blue Circle, Haryana government, and now the company is receiving the award from Delhi government for the maximum sales in electric 3-wheeler category in Delhi. Omega Seiki Mobility won the coveted award Super Shop Floor Awards for its work in healthcare. Mr. Narang obtained his BA in Economics, BS in Management, and MS in Management and Policy from State University of New York at Stony Brook. That is amazing, Mr. Uday. Thank you once again for joining us. We will now briefly introduce my colleague, Professor R. Prasad, is the director from Academic Wing of ICFAI Group. He's also a professor and course mentor for the online MBA program. His areas of interest and teaching are strategy and entrepreneurship, and he brings with him a rich experience of 3 decades, out of which the first decade was full of entrepreneurship, and then corporate experience as well, and now in academics, all put together 3 decades. He obtained his BTech from IIT Bombay and PGDM in Marketing and Systems from the prestigious IIM Kolkata. He published several articles, edited books, and presented papers in various conferences in India and abroad. Welcome, Professor Prasad, to you as well, and thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
With this brief introduction, I request Mr. Uday to actually commence his talk. All the participants who have joined from variety of sectors every Friday, sir, just to give you a brief, leaders who are budding at different stages in their career, on an average 6+ years of work experience. They join from IT, they join from engineering, they join from EdTech, they join from the world of finance, they join from the world of sports, social work, so on and so forth, and also spirituality. I think leaders in any domain are actually joining this particular space to learn from other leaders like you. So today we are all ears, and we'll learn about electric vehicles and what are the priorities and pitfalls. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's really great to have you guys have this event and give us the opportunity to be part of the talk. And I think the clear thing I want to say first before I talk about my presentation, what is really driving me, and thank you for calling me young. I'm not, I'm a little bit, I'm a lot older than I look, but don't judge a book by its cover. But thank you for the kindness. What I was going to say is that the main reason why I got involved in electric mobility and electrification was not because I want to build unicorns. I know a lot of young men and women might be on this call who want to do that. It's great. What's driven me clearly is green energy and sustainability. And this is something important. I want all of you on a Friday night when this is over, and over the weekend when you have some time, think through all of this, is that the 31 most polluted cities in the world is in our country. We talk about building a 10 trillion or Adaniji is talking about a 30 trillion economy. I will tell you, we are also focused on building a great education for our kids. We want to buy, nice houses for our children and our wives. But I think what we are forgetting about is if we have the polluted cities and we have a bad air and pollution in this country, none of this money, none of these houses are going to make a difference. And I think, we see Prime Minister Modi talk about, let's have Swachh Bharat. Well, Prime Minister Modi ji cannot make the India Swachh. It has to come from all of us. And I want to just say that, I'll talk about electrification, but what I want to say is every one of you, the young men, women, old, we need to change our way of, commuting. Green energy sustainability is extremely important. And if we don't do it today, I can guarantee you, your kids and your kids' kids are all going to be spending time in hospitals, and we'll never achieve the dream of a 10 trillion or a 30 trillion or whatever number economy we want. So now, this is something I'm very passionate about. I got involved in this business 9 years ago. We have, we're the largest steel processor, and we have a large amount of automotive parts business. But what drove me to come back from Switzerland to get involved is to make sure I make a change. And this is extremely, this is something that I want all of you to really think about, when this is done and how you can make a difference. So let's go over the presentation, please. And I think we can go forward because we have limited time. So quickly, to start with, Omega Seiki Mobility Private Limited. We are today, we've been in this journey of electrification, green energy and sustainability for over 9 years. We are the only OEM in this country that is doing, 3-wheelers, 2-wheelers, 4-wheelers, and, we are coming up with electric tractors. So I am, I'm born electric. We are continually coming up with new products, and so I think we're going to talk a little bit about, the priorities and the pitfalls. Let's talk about, the future. People, everybody says future is electric. Well, in my opinion, the present is electric. From 18K vehicles sold in 2015 to, 6.6 million in 2021. And this number continues to grow significantly. The government is encouraging industry. You've got huge amount of PLI schemes. We've got schemes that are, the PLI schemes are good. We've got FAME subsidy. We've got over, 15 states, which is putting up, a whole lot of, new, independent EV policies. I'm seeing every day a new state come up. The South has always taken the leadership, and now we are taking, Uttar Pradesh, we are taking Punjab, Delhi has been very, very progressive. And you're seeing, I have never seen in the history of this country where, you've got the central and the state government pushing it. Fleet owners are going electric. There's robust growth in the, ecosystem, OEMs, battery manufacturers, motor manufacturers. And I reach out to all of you entrepreneurs in there. There is an opportunity for all of you, whether you want to be in a startup, whether you have an existing business. And, as we say in India, the trailer has just started. The movie has not even begun. So there's a whole lot of opportunity in many, many parts of this value chain that all you young entrepreneurs, young and old, doesn't matter age, can get part of this ecosystem. I think if you look at it, there's a 300 million vehicle market, 400 million by 2030. EV sales are going to touch 10 lakh units in 2022, which is a very, very staggering number. You're going to see 80%, in our belief, 80% of two-wheelers and three-wheelers are going to go electric. I don't know if Niti Aayog is talking about 100% in the next 5 years. In current India, 51% of three-wheelers are already electric. High-speed two-wheelers recorded a 425% growth in 2021, and you're seeing a substantial increase in that. Electric four-wheelers, which we are also the first of a kind, we were bringing out. My 3-ton truck is already out there, and the 1-ton truck is coming this month. We believe 30% of electric trucks are going to be. And the reason why I'm talking about cargo is the largest amount of pollution happens from cargo-related businesses. Obviously, you are seeing a very, very significant growth in the entire ecosystem of electrification. Now, we're going to talk about some of the issues. The biggest issue facing, EVs is financing. Finances. For example, I have got a 50,000 vehicle demand just in the three-wheelers. The key part is that every one of those cargo players needs financing. And I think, 99% of my buyers require financing. You've seen the government talk about, the PLI schemes, the FAME to subsidy. That's all supply side economics. But demand without purchasing power doesn't constitute demand. I mean, you guys are understanding that. Our problem is I have not heard one state bank announce an EV financing policy. See, I think the banks have got it all wrong. In 3 or 4 years from now, in my view, the IC game has been over. There will be demand. Priority set lending, which was established by the RBI in 1972 to enhance access to finance priority sectors of society. It requires a bank to directly a specified percentage of net credit to a predetermined sector that is highly employable and helps alleviate poverty. See, this is something that's very important. And we believe that the government from the state banks need to be involved in more, financing. We've got NBFCs that are charging between 18 to 21%, which is prohibitive. And I think that, one of the concerns of the banks is they're concerned about the resale value of the vehicle. I have built products which are already giving 6-year warranty on the vehicle and 6-year warranty on the battery, and a buyback of the battery in the first 3 years. So we are continually coming up with products, but financing is something, inclusion of EV in the priority sector will mean the banks have to be lending in this sector. Non-banking financing companies will be able to greater EV finance through banks they wish to leverage the institutions. The key part is finance needs to be sorted. We set up our own finance company. We are seeing more, but I think there is a whole lot of work that needs to be done by the government sector in this space. We need to address EV. The other part, look, I want to, we'll go over the presentation quickly, and the key part is quick Q&A, because Q&A is most important here. See, the problem is everybody is talking about Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, Pune, Mumbai. That's not India. India is, we talk about, 1.4, 1.5 billion people. Majority of our people live in rural India. We talk about today also, there was a new vehicle, a fantastic looking vehicle that one of my competitor has come out. and it's valued at 1.7 or 1.5 lakhs, depending on the range and the quality. What percentage of this country can buy two-wheelers of that range? And we talk about Tesla, which is a 50 to 60 lakh vehicle. We need to produce we need to make vehicles for rural India. We need to set up the ecosystem in tier 2, 3, 4 cities. OSM has been a big part of it. I am using cargo vehicles, passenger vehicles to give employment so they can use the mobility to earn more money. I don't want our young men and women to come from villages or rural India to cities. They live in inhospitable areas. They don't save enough money. They are far away from their families. So we want to build the ecosystem. In Tamil Nadu, in rural Tamil Nadu, electricity is free. So we can set up the charging infrastructure. We can set up the vehicles. That farmer can use that money for better healthcare, for education of his daughter and son, and an improvement. So I think OSM is continually working towards building, EVs for India in rural area. And I think, we need to start working if we want to be, a 10 trillion economy, or we want to be the 3rd largest economy in the world. We need to make sure we lift India in the rural area. I've said this before, and I want to tell you, I think we'll be a 10 trillion economy. But what I don't want is 9 to 9.5 people having 9 trillion and all the rest of the 1.4 billion having very little. We need the complete uplifting of this country. And how can that happen? We need to bring this to the rural. And we are continually working. OSM is continually, I am dedicated to building products more for rural India. Yes, in the cities. We all only talk about Amazon and Flipkart and FedEx and DHL, but there's a whole lot of milk, curd players, food players, other players, agriculture players that need mobility. We look at Bihar, for example. We are looking at the milk delivery guys. They are delivering milk in the morning and the evening. They're spending more money on diesel than they're making on oil, on their milk. So we are finding solutions for them. And, this is something where we also run Uno Express and Auto Express and many other logistics. Today, I am one of the largest unofficial electric logistic company in this country. And we are working on it in Africa, in Asia, in Latin America, and global. India can play a key role. See, everybody's talking about batteries. Batteries are going to need to be recycled. Safety also has to happen. You've heard about these fires in the two-wheelers. And I'll be honest with you. I think, in England, we say, you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. We are selling two-wheelers at prices which are not practical, and they're buying these cells from China. There's A, B, C, D, E, F. Some of these scooter companies are buying cells at some of the lowest level of cell quality and selling it. I think that is irresponsible. One life lost is too many. Whether it is your kid or whether it is my uncle or whether it is your daughter, I think there has to be responsibility given. And you know what? In Europe and America, I spent 40 years, internationally. If you drink and drive, you get a fine and they take your license. There has to be enforcement. We cannot have people sell bad products and get away with it. Okay, this is something that enforcement needs to happen. But the key part is 2 to 3 to 4 years down the road, there's going to be a huge demand of battery recycling, and India can play a key role in that. About 70% of hazardous waste in global landfills comes from e-waste. Just 94,000 metric tons of lithium-ion batteries were recycled globally in 2019. Most of them portable consumer electronics. In the next decade, however, EV batteries will start flooding the end-of-life battery market. So this is something that we really need to work on. We really need to focus on, and India can have an opportunity. We have the young men and women. We have the engineers. We have so much happening. Look, one of the things I've been seeing is, the global markets are having a bit of a shakedown. We see global markets down 15 to 20%. India's down 2%. It clearly shows that in my belief, that it's India's time where in the next 10 years, India can be a real superpower. We can be part of this EV battery, recycling. Challenges and pitfalls faced by EV industry. Obviously, the first part, insufficient charging infrastructure. We need to make sure that there is enough charging infrastructure, not just in the big cities, but all across in tier 2, 3, and 4 cities. Charging infrastructure is extremely important. In 2021, there were only 950 charging stations in India compared to 300,000 in China. Lack of sufficient charging infrastructure is one of the reasons where customers are a bit more worried about buying EV. We are working at OSM with E-Link and multiple partners, to build the charging infrastructure. High costs. Look, there are too low cost or too high cost of EV, whether it's 3-wheelers, 2-wheelers, 4-wheelers. We need to make sure India is a very, very price sensitive market, but that does not mean we give them time bombs of batteries to ride on, right? I think we've got to be working on that. OSM is continually working on this situation. Limited options. We need to make sure that there are so many different options for whether it is 2-wheelers and 3-wheelers and 4-wheelers, different. See, at OSM, we have worked with fixed charging, fast charging, swap. We're coming up with 15-minute fast charging. We've come up with different ranges. We've come up with world's highest range 3-wheeler with 250 kilometers. We are coming with trucks that can do 180 to 250 kilometers in 1 ton, 3.5 ton, and 6 ton. So we are coming up with tractors that will be not, if you look at Indian farms, they are very small. And, these tractors that we sell are so huge. We want to be building tractors for a service where in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, all over this country, we put up tractors for lease where we set up the charging infrastructure. The farmer uses the tractor by the hour. He comes back and leaves it. Again, this will lead to more income. This will lead to better life. And until we lift everybody, not just the farmers, and I just want to see clearly, I don't want to see 2 individuals in this country just be owning everything, right? And we need to make sure we give an opportunity. And I think the time is right to build this. Higher dependency on imports. We've got to stop importing products from China. At OSM, we've always made that goal. You're going to do, you want to do something with us, you have to make in India on a JV in India. I know lately we are talking about local for vocal, make in India. We've been doing this for over 9 years. And I think more and more products, we have the engineers, we have the technology, we have the people, we need to do it. I'll give an example. VinFast is a very, very forward-looking EV passenger car company. They're based in Vietnam. They are competing today on vehicles with Tesla. Their entire engineering staff is from India. So we can do it in Vietnam, boys and girls. We can do it here. And I think we should. We've got all of the opportunity to be doing it here. Great challenges. Obviously, another concern is regarding the price of charging EVs at private charging station. Often EV becomes mainstream. Once EV becomes mainstream, projections of 2030 show that even a fair presentation of EV, the increase in demand for electricity is likely to be increased for 100 terawatt hours and about 4% of total energy generation capacity. So methods of power generation, solar, wind, alternate energy needs to be focused. I think every house in this country should be solar. We should change. The government should give incentives to incentivize all of us to put green, all my factories, all of my house, everything has green energy, has solar. And we need to put that, and we got to make that. The great challenges need to be, there's enough technology coming that we can overcome that. Just a quick thing on OSM. 2020, we launched the Rage Plus, which is one of India's top, cargo players. Then we came up with Rage Plus Frost in 2021. When Corona came, we can clearly, it can do 0 to 10 degrees. And it can also, we have got products that can go even -10. We build that for vaccine. We helped in a solution, but this is being used for food, for drug, for pharmacy companies to be delivering. We launched scooters in 2021. We've come up with an e-rickshaw again in 2021. We've unleashed the 4-wheeler, 3-ton electric truck in 2021. In 2022, we are going to be just coming this month, a 1-ton truck, which is the sweet spot, which can do 200, 180, 200 kilometers on a single charge. We are working on fast charging and multiple other options. We've come up with some beautiful 2-wheelers for rural India that we are going to be doing in a very short order. And that is something that is important. And then obviously we are also, the supply chains are a major problem. So what we are going to be doing is we are going to be making powertrains, batteries. The entire supply chain is under us. Omega has been in the largest, steel processor in this country. We also do huge amount of automotive parts. So all of the parts are being made in our own internal. So, the biggest problem right now is supply chain. If you want to be able to do scale, you have to have supply chain. Again, we are a fully integrated company. We got 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers. We are tech-driven mobility company, e-commerce, non-e-commerce. We are manufacturing powertrains. We are setting up our own battery, battery pack plant so that it's under our control. See, supply chain and vertical integration is extremely important. And I think if you look at it, we've got battery, we've got powertrains, we've done forward integration by financing and charging. We're doing after-sales service. Obviously, we've got technology centers here in Korea, in Thailand, in Europe. So we are building a global company. We are the only electric company that is exporting vehicles out of this country even today. Okay, we are looking to set up a mega factory in the south of India. We have got multiple facilities across in this country today. We are building scale of over 50,000 3-wheelers, over 400,000 2-wheelers, 20,000 trucks, and then obviously tractors and many other. We have got a tech-driven last mile fleet operations, which is called Uno Express, which is pan-India with last line mobility. We have 3- and 4-wheelers under cargo operated by our customers. And currently, we are managing operations for major e-commerce and traditional companies. All the big e-commerce companies and many other companies are our partners. Technology-enabled operations very much is important, which is realizing greater operational efficiency and customer satisfaction. Just to give you an important, we are doing 12,000 kilometers daily already, which will go to 25,000 kilometers daily completed. We've already completed 1 million kilometers across major cities. We have saved 1,200 tons of CO2 emissions. Hopefully by next year, it will be 2,500 tons. And we want to scale that in a big way. Thank you very much. I want to show you one last thing. It's a video of a truck that is already working in this country. And just to give you an idea of what is coming in the future. Please have a look. All right, we're good to go for the question answer, and
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. That's a very nicely made presentation. The overview of the electric vehicle industry is pretty impressive. Currently, where it is and where it is actually poised to move from 2022 to this end of this decade, 2030. We are talking about 300 million to anywhere between 300 million to 400 million vehicles sold. I think that's a pretty impressive projection that one can look at. The presentation is also very interesting in terms of the priorities that we need to do and why we are working on it, why we are focusing so much on electric energy, the sustainable energy or green energy that we are talking about. I think it is for future, and future is already present. In your own words that you mentioned, that present is electric. There's no more discussion on future. I think future anyway definitely has to be electric. Sir, the financing is a big issue that you've identified. Therefore, the policy for electric vehicles has to be accordingly dovetailed, and make sure that we uplift the rural economy in order to post very impressive record of economy in this country. We need to build rural ecosystems and make vehicles for tier 2, tier 3 cities in this country. Charging infrastructure has always been a point of discussion. It is required. And there are examples in the case studies that you have given. One such is VinFast, where Indian technology has helped VinFast actually do pretty impressively rival against the well-known Tesla. So pricing methods of power generation are extremely important. India will shine if it is solar, and that's the green energy that will boost our future. Supply chain integrations for both vertical and forward are required for organizations to do the way Omega Seiki Mobility has done. So that's the presentation. Thank you so much for that. We are now waiting for Q&As. I'll request Professor R. Prasad to start the first cluster of questions, and then we'll come back. Those who have posted just now additional questions in the Q&A box, please wait. In the second round, we will request you to ask the question directly. So hang on, stay in there. We will come to you, but we'll have to finish the first round of questions. When we have actually collected these questions, we have actually sequenced it properly so that we start with first things like how the journey has been for the speaker, for the leader who is present with us today, and then slowly get into the levels of strategy that one has looked at. Yes, we will definitely come to that. But let me ask some very simple questions. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you're glued on, and we will open the window for you also to ask questions, so stay in there. Sir, the first question I would like to take, I hope I am audible. The first question I'm taking is, based on battery explosions that we are seeing in electric vehicles, what do you suggest? I mean, the question obviously is, how safe are these electric vehicles? Any standards of safety for battery that you recommend?
So clearly, I think, if you look at it, the battery explosions have 99% happened in two-wheelers. I think a lot of these, opportunistic OEMs, which I call, have bought products from, whether it is China, I don't want to be bashing China, but they have bought it primarily from China to make a quick buck. They have used battery cells, which are absolutely, C, D, E, F, I would even say E and F grade, in order to save costs. I think there's been a lack of responsibility. I think that if you look, there are, the battery players that we choose are extremely a very, very, exhaustive process. The cell manufacturing, it's all about cell manufacturing, and then the pack. I think that it is very unfortunate. I think the government is coming out. They've come up with a new policy, AF 156, which is going to tighten up the policy on better battery quality. I think that I would request all the consumers not to just go on cheap price. As I said earlier, you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. I don't think, I think we've got to look at the TCO model for an owner in a two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler, with a much, much more longer-term vision. I think quality is important. Safety is important. I think the rules that are being put now are very, very important. And I think, look, India is a very big market. I've learned it myself, spending 35 to 40 years away and now spending my time in India, in Africa, in Asia. We build partnerships with with all the major players in the battery manufacturing space. And I think that, the policies that the government is coming out is going to tighten all of that up. But I also think all OEMs have to be longer term vision. We also want to make sure that young men and women that build companies, this is an automotive sector, you build one or two batteries and you claim to, build, a million motorcycles or 5 million cars. It takes time, build unicorns, all of you, but take time, spend time on testing, look it up, the products. India is very diverse. We have heat, we have cold, we have rain, so I think this requires time and working with quality players. The battery packs, some of the battery packs that are made, they're just crazy. They're just absolutely not, you should not be on the road. So I think, we are seeing a lot more responsible OEMs coming up. I think the enforcement is there, and I think you're going to see a lot more better movement towards battery manufacturing. We, for once, are only working with A-class players who have history, who have tested it, who have responsibility, and who have shown at least several, at least 10 years of cell manufacturing.
Great, sir. So the key recommendation there is to work with better quality manufacturers, better quality players, and not compromise by having a short sight. I think the word that you have used is opportunistic OEMs. I think that's where it lies. But then obviously we need to think long term, and the market is pretty huge, and we need to focus sufficiently on testing as well. Thank you very much, sir. So on one hand, the next question is, on one hand, these fire accidents has actually dampened the end consumer's perception of what it is. And there is another thing called the constraints of charging stations, which you have elaborately touched upon. What do you think is the future? How does it evolve, the future of charging stations for electric vehicles? Because you are pretty close to this space, you are dealing with the policymakers as well. According to you, what is the outlook for rolling out charging stations for electric vehicles in India?
I think this is a space that requires, everybody, a large amount of new players. There's a lot of opportunity. But again, I also want those charging stations to be of high quality. I would like all of us to change. There's this word in India called jugaad. I think we should got to stop thinking about jugaad, and we should think about more of a longer term sustainable and a quality business. I think you're going to see multiple players. I think there should be charging infrastructure within everybody's houses or buildings or at gas stations. There is going to be a setup on city to city, state to state, city to city, and in tier 2, 3, and 4 cities all over this country. The demand is there. I think we will, Rome wasn't built in one day. It takes time. We will build it in India across ourselves, with OSME Link, with our partners. I am continuously working. See, this game of EV, it's not about me competing with, the other OEMs. This is, I'm into fitness. And so, I train with 20-year-old kids. They might be better than me, but I train long enough. So in a marathon, the Kenyans all run the first 20 kilometers with each other, and then the last 7 kilometers by themselves for a win. I think we're only in not even 1 kilometer. So let's all work together. Let's all work together, manufacturers, battery players, infrastructure players. There is so much. If you're only driven, you don't need to be an environmentalist like me, but if you're driven by money, there is so much money to be made in this business. Green energy and sustainability is extremely important. It's extremely, extremely important today. And what is important? That at this moment, we all align forces together. And you know what? All of you have enough scale, enough demand, and charging infrastructure needs to be built safely. I think the big government agencies involved in petrol stations can convert them to charging, whether it is for fixed fast charging swap. In England, we say different horses for different courses. India is so diverse. I have now traveled India nonstop for the last 4 or 5 years, the south to the north, to the east, to the west. It is an amazing country. I never realized, when I was away for so long, how much diversity we have in this country, how much demand in this country we have, how many young people we have in this country, that we can build this. We have technologists, we have engineers, and I think there is money out there. And I think the charging infrastructure will be set up, because this is absolutely the reason. Look at what's happening. Our biggest import is oil. The more dependence, the less dependence we have on that, the more money we have for healthcare, for education, for building infrastructure. And I'll tell you what, I think, I'm apolitical, whether it is, the central government or the state government of Tamil Nadu, or the government in Delhi, or in Punjab, or in Maharashtra, everybody understands that the ecosystem needs to be built, and charging infrastructure is part of that.
Great, thank you, sir. And I hope this rolls out with collective consciousness, collective awareness, and also working together. I hope by the end of this decade, I think we will have no looking back on the charging stations as well, because the proliferation, the projection is 300 to 400 million electric vehicles by end of the decade, and therefore it cannot happen without enough charging stations. So we take that. Thank you, sir. Now, there's something about the power of these vehicles.
And I'll leave this. You know, every Kirana store should think about putting a charging infrastructure. Every supermarket should think about putting a charging station.
Right.
Every building, every RWA should be thinking about putting charging infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, you're all going to make money, and you're going to help the environment, and you're going to help the ecosystem. So please, I'm not saying this is my game or a few people's game. This is an opportunity for all of you to be part of it. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Fantastic. We are all in it. We are all in it, and we'll all stand to gain. Thank you, sir, on that. How the power of electric vehicles can be increased over a period of time? Would you think electric vehicles will be as powerful as what we have known as diesel vehicles to be? For example, tractors and other powerful heavy-duty machinery.
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt, I believe that whether it is, you know, look, I'm a green man. I'm a green and sustainability man. I think whether it is green energy, which is EV, or blue energy, which is hydrogen, or multiple other sources. I am not just talking technology. So much is changing so quick. And, you know, we've got so many universities, beautiful, you know, crazy. You know, we've got all of these young guys and girls working. See, you know, maybe back in the day, you told your son or daughter, hey, be an engineer or be a doctor, go work at a government. You know what the youngster says today? Nah, dad, I'm not working at, I'm going to build me a unicorn myself. And we should, you know, this is the power. This is the power of our country. You know, the young and the old working together. And I think the opportunities are there for us to all build a very significant, you know, green energy and sustainability. ESG is going to be part of everybody's life. So what I'm saying is, you know, whether it's EV now, whether it's hydrogen or a new technology that is coming out every day. And I think this is the future. Look, stop investing in Paytm, Oyo, and all of this garbage that don't give any returns, right? They never make money. Get involved in this space. It will help you make money, and it will also help you save this country. I keep telling you this, not just because I'm in it, right? I'm doing this because I'm driven for making in India a better nation of the future, right? And if we don't look after this, boys and girls, there is nothing left. Honestly, we can keep arguing about, you know, oh, this is not going to impact me. I'm going to be inside my home. But what about those billion people living on the streets or living in areas where they cannot buy filters? And we got to change that. But they're our workforce. They're our future. Those are the vote banks. So it impacts everyone. Sorry, I'm very, very passionate about this. You know, it's something that I've been driven by. So it all comes across, you know, this is what is driving me. And I think all of you need to understand this.
Super. I'll request Mr. Ajay Kumar Jivaji is ready to talk.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, my name is Ajay Kumar. I'm an assistant professor from Government Degree College, Hyderabad. And it's a very good session. And the importance of electric vehicles is much more important, especially like metropolitan cities. Day by day, we are seeing a lot of traffic, lot of pollution. And my question to you is a direct question. So are you creating any sort of orientation of your brand, like any orientations you have started? So that will motivate youngsters to prefer these electric vehicles.
Professor Lavinia, absolutely. I am continuously working on this. This is, you know, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. You know, we have got factories across the country. You know, my MD, Dr. Deb, is involved with multiple universities. He's on the board of SRM University. He's working with IIT Guwahati. We are working with Indira Gandhi University for Women. We are working across this country. And, you know, all the people, I've been a big promoter of technology. You know, a lot of startups that I have worked with in this space. And I think that absolutely we are open to, you know, inviting young men and women of this country to be able to be part of this mission. So yeah, OSM is a we're not just doing this here, we're doing this globally in Korea, in Thailand, in Europe, in Bangladesh. and in all over Asia and Latin America.
Thank you, sir.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Great.
Thank you
very
to
much.
ICFAI University. Thank you, sir.
Right. Mr. Ramesh, would you like to take the question quickly?
Good evening to all the members. Actually, I would like to ask, is it possible to upgrade to the next level of transformation? As a part of the transition, is it possible these EVs are upgradable to next level?
Next level in terms of what? In terms of
Any, as a part of R&D, is it upgradable to the next level as a part of the transition or transformation? I would like to say.
yes,
As a disruption.
Yes, I think absolutely. We are seeing, we never thought we put a three-wheeler with 250 kilometers. We were able to do it. We are coming up with better powertrains, motors, battery technology. We are working absolutely to build more longer range, so that the biggest problem is range anxiety. We are working on better quality. We are working on pricing. We are working, to get scale, you need to be able to get pricing right. And in India is a very, very price sensitive. It's one of the most price sensitive market in the world. So we are continually working on this, and we are continually building R&D teams to look at, as I said, powered. I'm just off to Korea after the 19th. We have built a powertrain which is world class, which is going to be brought here, built here. We're going to patent it here. Because everything we do has to be made in India. R&D centers produce it, but we make it over here. We bring it in, and there are probably going to be further development by teams here. And so I think, yes, there are continuous improvements. We are gonna, we were just spending. I was with, there's an American team here with a very large that works with Ford and GM, who's working with us on design on a futuristic three-wheeler, which we're going to launch early next, in the March or April of next year. So we are looking at four-wheelers, which I will be, the 1 ton that I built took a long time, took us 8 years to build, and is doing some great, you'll be able to see it very shortly. So we are working on tractors all across this country and in the world, because, tractors require different soils, depending on soil condition and needs. So yes, the answer is we continually believe this moves up. Yes.
Wonderful.
Is the insurance industry is continuously support a full-fledgedly regulated to EV?
I think,
because if you are going to take a warranty, then electricals are not covered. Mostly they will tell. This is a continuous support for the batteries? Is it available by the industry of insurance?
Not everyone. We built some, as I told you earlier in the presentation, we built a product with Log9, which is giving 6-year warranty on the battery and 6-year warranty on the product and a buyback. Yes, look, this is an educational process. Yes, I believe 4 years ago, the insurance company and a lot of places. My answer to your question is, how many big boys and girls, and I'm not going to name names because I don't want to name competitors. How many of those guys were talking EV? Now, everybody. There was an individual who is a lord of automobiles, said he was going to have, he was going to have oats for lunch or whatever. They are now producing electric vehicles. So what's funny is wherever, so my friend, the game has changed. Everybody's realized, in India, what happens, my friend? Nobody follows. You remember this guy that throws the javelin in Haryana? I don't think you even knew his name before he won the gold medal. Now everybody knows, oh, he's got beautiful long hair. He's a great, strong man. There were people so in India, we really support gold medal winners. Now anybody's in EV, everybody wants to be in EV. So believe you me, it's EV, blue energy, other alternate energy. The insurance players, the finance companies are all coming. And that's it. In India, we all want to see a winner, and then we want to start backing them, So yes, it's all going to come. Don't worry. The ecosystem is being built. But you've got to understand, it takes time. It's a huge country. This is not a small place we're talking about. We got 1.5 billion people. It's 3 times the size of Europe.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Great. That was a nice conversation. Thank you very much. I think we'll quickly have Lavanya to ask the question. Please keep it short, and then we'll follow it up with Dr. Sanjeev Kumar, who is dialing in from Dehradun. First, Lavanya.
Good evening, sir. Thanks a lot for the wonderful presentation. My question is, what is the status of fuel cells And how does that concatenate with electric vehicles
What was
in
the
India?
question again?
What is the status of fuel cells in India and how does that concatenate with electric vehicles?
Look, I think that, madam, the new policy, is bringing huge amount of fuel cell production into this country. It will take time. I think it's not too far. Maybe in 2 years, we will have significant production here. I think that the cell technology is changing continuously. I think this is where a huge amount of opportunity. We work with Log9, we work with many other startups in this space. There's some, there's lithium ion, zinc air, aluminum air, multiple technologies are coming up. We are working with an individual by the name of Shailesh Uprethi. Dr. Uprethi is based in US. He's set up a 1.5 giga factory upstate New York. We're going to bring that technology to India and produce that cell. That cell is half the cost of China. So I think there's new technologies, there's new developments happening. It's a very fast moving space. And we continually believe that battery costs are going to go down. And I'm telling you, when we find, I know you're a very, you're all young people, but, I remember you see this phone, I was in Wall Street, that big bag phone that I was carrying. And then I was carrying that phone, which we used to call the brick, which you must have seen this show called Miami Vice. I think you're too young for all that. And now we've got this having everything. Battery technology is changing so fast. Cell technology is changing so fast. I'm telling you, we are going to change the way we live in the next 5 years. We are blessed to be living in this era that we've seen so much change. And I think the next 10 to 15 years, a lot more is going to change in that space that you're talking about, young lady.
Great.
Sudhakar,
Great.
is
Thank
it
you, sir.
audible?
Yes, it is very much audible. I think we will just quickly take Dr. Sanjeev's question and then maybe you can start the cluster
sure.
from your side. Dr. Sanjeev, would you like to finish it off quickly?
Yeah. Very good evening, sir. Thanks for the opportunity for raising my question. And we have, I'm audible, sir? Great, sir. So very good evening, sir. Sir, my question is the customer point of view. In the market, there are a lot of competition in the automobile industry. We see in the comparison point of view, like we did a large survey of the kind of customer exactly the looking after the vehicle in the Indian society. And for that, we have recently developed a recommender for the vehicle, and it is we are happy to share that is published in the International Journal of Operational Research and the recommender. The job is which we face, sir, here in the Indian society, the vehicles, a lot of competition. So there are the major factors which dilute the decision which you plan to purchase an electrical vehicle or diesel vehicle or petrol vehicle. There are parameters which we have chalk out and would like to bring into your notice so that we can take some suggestion to implement to that. There is a demography. The vehicle is some sort of proportional to the age of the person who's purchasing, who's going to drive the vehicle. The age is the factor, gender is the factor, and income is the factor. The second parameter, the behavior, the purpose of the vehicle, the vehicle which is available in the market, for what purpose you are purchasing, the use of that, whether it is equipped with the technological superiority or comfort level. The third stage is the lifestyle and the social class, beliefs, personality, and the brand personality. There are people in the customer which follow the kind of strategy in their mind, will not go beyond of that. So how to overcome and attract the customer so that they will retain towards your product. The third one is the surface on which you are driving the vehicle, either it is a plain, mountain, or desert. So these are the complexity in the vehicle purchase, the mindset of the customer, the demography, behavioral, psychological impact at the time of purchase decision, and geographical location. The reason we have brought out these all, we have studied a great study in this vehicle purchase in the electrical vehicle. At present, there is a area which is European country comes under Finland, Ireland. They are in full-fledged running this they have the capable infrastructure over there. In Indian population, Indian mindset of the customer is something which is related to the following points. I want to bring out these points. At the time of purchase, we always see what is
good. So we will request our speaker to respond to that briefly. Yes, sir.
Look, I think absolutely. I mean, you put a very wide variety of questions on there. I mean, it's like a whole picture. We could spend half an hour answering everything. But I'll tell you what, I think, what I would request is maybe reach out to me. I will get one of my teams to respond to each and every one of your concerns. Look, customer satisfaction is extremely important. I'll tell you what, I'll give you an example. In the rains, we just had, and in Delhi, the water was up to the knees. These are electrical equipment, vehicles, they're driving them down into the rain. We get short circuiting, because of certain things. We are continuously learning of customer, customer demand, customer needs, customer taste, how we need to protect the vehicles continually India is a very different kind of a market, and so I think to answer your questions, customer responses, learning from customers, understanding customer needs, building products. I'll tell you what, we built vehicles for Nepal, and the weight on one of our cargo vehicle, 3-wheeler, should be 600 kilo. Those boys are putting 2 ton on it. This is the India or the ASEAN or this region where customers, if you tell, we were saying, look, on the gas cylinder side, put 500. They put 900 kilos of cylinders and they're driving because they want to maximize their revenue. So we need to continually understand customers' profiles and needs and difficulties and continually build products. Look, you have a lot of questions. So reach out to me. I would send it to you with one of my people and then answer all of your questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for patiently responding to that question. What we'll do is the question on lithium batteries, future, and what other things that we can look at. I think Mr. Uday will answer that in due course of time, but I'll quickly bring in Professor R. Prasad for his very important set of questions that we should have taken in the first cluster itself. Because of a glitch, we couldn't. Now, I'll request Professor Prasad to completely bring that on. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Is it audible now?
Yes, very much.
Yeah. Sorry for the glitch. I think I changed system, so I think hope it's going to work now. So this is slightly stepping back. The points that you made about logistics, about rural India, they're all very, very spot on, and you can see a lot of energy out there. Logistics being such a major sector, which also impedes costs for all the others. So the first question that I'll take in this sector is, which are the top 3 trends and changes that you expect in the environment will actually step up? Last 1 or 2 years, we've seen a step up, but what are those top trends and changes which you think will impact the future of the auto industry, including EVs?
Okay, look, I think I'm gonna say really, we've got an opportunity in India to be, a major exporter of not just electric vehicles, but automotive parts, EV parts. My factories are getting huge orders on EV parts. I don't know if by 2030, Europe wants to be completely off. Yeah, I will tell you by 2040, the Western world wants off IC completely. So there's opportunity on EV export. There's opportunities on the automotive space where we could be, a major export. I think it's a $500 billion industry that India can be part of. I think you're going to see vehicles change continuously. You're going to see more dynamic, the shape, the size. Again, the range. Key part is people want range. That range anxiety has to be over. You're going to see, swap. Swap is going to come in a big way in 2-wheelers and 3-wheelers. We are even working on 4-wheelers on swap. That will reduce the cost. I'll tell you, if we can put the infrastructure for swapping, the IC boys and girls are going to make a run, because then it makes complete sense, because you don't pay for the battery, and you don't pay, and the cost of fuel, which is the charging, is not as bad, is not as even close to what it is. For example, in a truck, the per kilometer in a Bolero is about 14 rupees a kilometer. On an EV, it is like 2. You know what I mean? So that answer is clear. So I think, you're going to see that. You're going to see battery technology change, where cost is going to be down, range is going to be up, safety is going to be there. You're going to see, all sorts of battery storage conditions where, you could use your vehicle in areas where there is an outage of power, where you can work together as a vehicle. And then, so we are working in products in Africa right now, where in the evening, that cargo player can go to home and he can light up his home where the children can study, where the wife can make the food, where there can be a fan. A lot of things are changing, and I see technology being a big part of it. Technology. You're seeing data that is coming out of all of this and be able to better manage transportation, logistics. This is going to change the way we all live. So, I mean, Dr. Prasad, we're going to change everything in the next 5 to 10 years.
Excellent. I think we've seen the traditional automakers not doing much. I mean, we heard about them coming out with EVs, but they didn't do much. Maybe things are changing. But what do you think are the key things will make these guys really set up and accelerate? Because the entire industry coming into this will make a huge difference.
Look, I think the big boys and girls, and again, I'm not going to name them, but I'll tell you what they know. The time, we say change with the time, or time will change you. And Doctor, you both are learned men. If we don't change, these young people will come and change us. So I think, we all got to understand that green energy and sustainability is the future. Everybody knows that. I'm building trucks in UAE, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is building up a city called Nome. These are the largest exporter of oil in the world. They know that they're building a city called Nome, which will be 100% green transport, solar. So I'm telling you that this is not something that we are just a fad. This is the way everybody will go. So my point is that we all got to be part of it. I will say, not just because I'm doing this and I'm trying to sell electric. We've got Prime Minister Modi talking about silent revolution. We've got Transport Minister Nitin Gadkariji talking about it. You've got Chief Minister Stalin doing it. Everybody knows it, from Andhra to Jammu, from Pondicherry to Panchkula. Everybody's in this game, and not just here, but globally. I'm opening up doors in Africa, and people are coming up and saying, my team was just in Rwanda, where people are saying, let's bring electrification in Nigeria, in ASEAN. We just sent products to Philippines and to Indonesia. So look, this is a global marketplace, and India can be a major player. I'm again telling you, I believe the next 10 years are so significant for our country. If we can get our young men and women the opportunity, the financing, the money is there. If you are creative, don't go to Canada or United States or United Kingdom. Build them here. That's what I would say. Including us old guys can also be part of this, and give all of these young people a run for their money, that experience and gray hair. I keep it short. I don't want to show my gray hair too much. So, we can be part of this, guys. It's no different. Old, young, look, India's time, I keep saying this, India time is now. I was a global hedge fund manager for 35 years. I've come back, invested everything I've got here, because I think the opportunity is great, and we've got everything to build here. Sorry, I'm not trying to be I've got no aspiration for political office. I'm just trying to be part of the change.
Well taken.
Excellent. I think here I'll put up a connected question that, given that Apna time is here, there is a need for a lot of innovation and entrepreneurs, and particularly in the EV space. Now, if you keep aside the big players, where do you think business graduates or technical graduates should focus for new initiatives, whether it's internally or externally?
I would say, look, all of you, you've got ideas, you've got technology, you've got, you're an engineer, you're a computer scientist, you're a mechanical engineer. Don't go to the government jobs, leave them, leave that safety, build your own companies. You know what? Give it a shot, because tomorrow you could be the next unicorn, and you could be building. I see people coming out of rural Karnataka, rural Tamil Nadu, people coming from Kerala. I've got students coming from Kurukshetra. You know what? It is so much fun. They all have opportunities. Believe in yourself. Young men and women, believe in yourself. Do the hard work. Don't try to make, cut corners. Try to build a stable. It doesn't take a lot. Align. Learn to align with people. Work in teams. Teamwork. There is no I in team, right? And I'm telling you, I'll give you an example. I have this company called Log9. There were two young kids, and I'm giving you this story for the young graduates. About 4 years ago, Dr. Akshay, who's now 27, and Karthik Haleja, who's now 26. One is from Ranchi and one is from, I don't even know, and he came up and he said, I've got a battery technology and I think can change everything. I said, okay, boys, I'm going to give you a couple of my vehicles, build the battery technology. You prove me what you say, and I'll give you a massive order for batteries. Yes, last week, they got valued at, and they've done several rounds. They were valued at $240 million in 3 years. I'm so proud of them. I'm seeing young men and women, and I'm seeing multiple such people. I've seen so many people do this. So I'm saying to the graduates, you know what? Don't take this safety hedge of a government job. Go and build a company. Don't take a job. Take the sufferings. Work hard on your dream. And if you stick to it, don't listen to your parents. Build a company. Hire hundreds of thousands of these people and build yourself a great, and just because you are from a small town or a small village, India is giving you that opportunity. The world is giving you that opportunity to create. And you know what this is going to do? It's going to, every unicorn, every young company, IBM or Reliance only hires 300,000 to 400,000. The largest employment comes from smaller companies. You go build your own company and hire 20, 30, 50. And you know what? 10 years from now, you don't need to think about going to United. Listen, I don't think you want to go to Europe on a 2% growth economy. Boring. Okay, you make money here and go holiday over there, right? But build it here, all of you. Don't go to the United States and work 6, 7 days a week and on the weekends just clean up your home. You build it here, stay with your families, build the ecosystem, give an opportunity. This is all I can say. Look, I clearly telling you the opportunity for all young and women, men and women. And I'm so excited. And one more thing I want to say, I'm a big proponent, Nari Shakti, we've got so many smart women in this country. We need to build their entrepreneurship. And I think we have the most powerful, I've looked at it. Women entrepreneurs are 10 times better than us. The guys are all focused on too many things. The ladies are focused. So we've got that too. So we've got so much going on here, guys. And this is such an intelligent and smart country that we've got a chance to build. All these graduates could all be the future. I think I could see all of them being superstars if they focus.
Great.
Fantastic. I think what you're essentially saying is start off, and you'll find your ideas, and you'll be able to move ahead. Okay. One last question from my side, and this is, I think you've been speaking, or you've been working on collaborative leadership. So can you throw a bit light on that in this particular context of potential entrepreneurs?
We are always, OSM has been right from the beginning an alliance-based company. We built alliances in powertrains in Korea, batteries in Korea and in the United States, motors in Israel and in Taiwan. I am building alliances in Europe, in Turkey, in Bangladesh. We will build everything with that in India. I don't do buying technology. I say, you want to be in India? You do a JV with me here. You build it here. You build the technology here. We want our young men and women to learn, to build better technologies, to be able to build better products, make in India for the global market. And I think, whether it is motors, powertrains, batteries, parts, design, I have a huge American company. As I told you, I've got to go after here. I'm going to go for dinner with them. And I told them first thing, if you think you're just going to bring me your American engineers and sell me the design, I sent them to my factory today. And I said, look at these designers. Revan wants to hire them. So I don't need to pay you. You want to do something? Bring your team here. Let's work it here. Teach me what you have done with Ford and GM and Nissan, and get them to do it here. So that's sort of my alliances are for all parts open, and we are doing this all across the board.
I think this is an extremely important point, and by doing so, you're bringing in far more value into the country and doing Make in India in a far more powerful fashion. Thank you very much. I hand the session back to Professor Rao.
Thank you very much. Sir, I think we were talking about youngsters going out to Europe and US and actually toiling out there. One such young leader, he's now about to talk to you, Dr. Lakshman, calling from Austin, Texas, USA. Lakshman, please quickly ask your question and make it short.
Thanks, sir. Sir, my question is to you, sir. It's not related to the company. Sir, the mindset what you have will reflect your entire company, because you are the major driver to your own company, like how a bus driver to a company. So if he wants to turn right, it will go right, and if or left, right? So my question is, sir, so your intention is based on gaining more profits or selling more vehicles, or down the line 10 years or down the line 20 years, you have such a target. Your intention is based on selling all those, or your intention is based on, I'm doing something great to the nature because this is only life. Whenever I step into this land, I have to do something bigger, clean some sort of the things in the nature, because that drives the training sessions giving to the employees, that energizes them. Okay, based on that, the company grows faster. If we give something good to the nature will give 10 times back to us. So my question is this one, sir. What is your intention in your mind?
Let me tell you something. I'm 53 years old. I have built global companies. My home was in Switzerland. I'm not here for the money. Believe you me. Right? In about a month's time, the AQI in Delhi will go to 500. The AQI in my town is 25. I'm not driven by money. I'm driven by two things. How do I build a better, cleaner India? How do I build and how do I give young men and women an opportunity to build new companies? Look, I don't want to live in $1 billion home in Mumbai. I have no intentions of that. I want to be part of the change. For me, as I told you right from the beginning, green energy and sustainability is important. I think money is required. This is a very big dollar game. But I think if I build the alliances, if I build the products, and I can be part of the disruption, I think, it'll be a payoff well enough for me. I have got today, I just looked at the last count. We have 500 people in this company. I remember employee number one. I've remembered many weeks of sleeping in the factory floor while we were building it. I remember sleeping in the conference room table. I was so tired. So the point is, no, I'm not saying that all young men and women that are in this make money. But for me, the vision and the clarity in my mind is, I want to be part of the change. I want to be remembered that I was a small part of bringing green energy and sustainability to this country, to this nation. And what I want is your kids and your kids' kids to be able to walk in the park, to not be in the hospital with asthma, and not be taking inhalers in the future. Bangalore, Delhi, Chennai, all these Mumbai cities are clogging up. And I'm telling you, this is going to hurt us. And Mother Nature is telling you, you don't fix it. So I'm being driven with that. Guys, I got 5 more minutes. I got to get on a call to the United States on an alliance. I think we're running over time. So please, we just got to,
yes.
I just want to,
yes,
I just need 5 minutes, and I need to jump on another call.
Yes, sir. Within the 5 minutes, we'll have 1 minute for Shweta Anand to ask you the question directly. Over to you, Shweta.
Good evening, Mr. Narang. We highly appreciate your passion towards energy and sustainability. My question to you is why we are focusing too much on, only electric vehicles and not some other sustainable source of energy like solar or wind energy. Will there be a future where we'll have a more sustainable source of energy-driven vehicles? Thank you.
Madam Anand, absolutely. I'm talking about EVs right now, but absolutely, I said green energies, EV, blue energies, hydrogen, solar, whatever new comes up, I am all for it. I think, if you ask me what I'm going to be doing in the future, I'm going to be building a technology center. I'm working on drones right now. We're working on multiple areas of other alternate energy. I think, if you see me 10, 15 years from now, hopefully, I'm not going to be as young as I am today, but I will be working with young men and women, building new companies, alternate energy companies for a greener, sustainable India and the world. So absolutely, there are rooms, you've got a new technology, you think it can work, talk to me, send me a message. I'll send my R&D, I'll send somebody from my R&D team to have a look. And if it's a good product, and clear thing, all of you understand, has to be scalable, because if it's only, scalable will only give you that bang for the buck and will give you the business. So no, Madam Anand, I will obviously welcome all new technologies, all new ideas. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, sir. That's a wonderful response. And I'm now concluding the whole conversation. You have spent a lot of time with us. I'm extremely thankful to you for doing this. Just one moment I'll take. We have been actually thoroughly energized by your presence and the talk that you delivered today. Not only in rolling out the entire prospects for the EV in India, the challenges and the pitfalls, but you have dealt also very closely in detail about the kind of outlook the young companies are supposed to have, and also the older companies which are getting into EV space must have. I think building India is entirely tied up with having sustainable thoughts, and sustainable thoughts will lead to having sustainable energy solutions. And therefore, the country as a whole will move towards, with focus on great policies, with focus on large part of this country, with special focus on rural and focus on youngsters, highlighting and encouraging women to get into leadership positions in technology, in R&D, in marketing, and various other functions, as well as you have exhorted. We are also energized by the fact that you have run your own organization so well over the last 9 years, and the impetus that you have provided with that example to this space is something worth emulating and worth learning for all the young leaders who are present today. And I'm sure, like the way I am energized, everyone around the screen also is. And we will continue to write to you and share some of the questions that remain unanswered for the paucity of time. And at your own convenience, you can respond to those by email, and we'll connect that. Kindly, I will also request you to share a PPT on my email ID, and we will try and attempt a summary of this whole conversation. Important takeaways are supposed to be archived. We will do that, and we'll also share that note with you for your nod. Thank you very much, sir, on behalf of everyone at ICFAI, on behalf of Professor Prasad, and all the young and energetic participants who have asked beautiful questions today. A big thank you for making this a really energetic session. And you said you're going to charge up. You did that. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Professor Prasad. Thank you, everybody. Look, keep an eye on us. I'm not going to go away, guys, whether it is the big boys and the girls. I'm going to give them a run for the money. You'll see me, giving, and, keep an eye on our social media platforms. We are continually rolling out new products, new alliances. I'm absolutely, for the last bit of energy I have left, you will see me on this subject. And I hope really that I can make a small difference. But please, if you need something, reach out to our social media platforms. We'll make sure that somebody from our digital team or somebody will be able to respond back. We'll do our best. And again, I want to just leave it with this. All of you, please be part of this change. It's extremely important. You owe it to Mother Nature, and you owe it to your kids, and biggest, you owe it to India. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Great, sir. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a wonderful session. Energy is contagious, as has been proven by Mr. Uday Narang today for this conversation. Next week on Friday at 4:30 p.m., we are going to have Sister Shivani from Brahma Kumari. She's going to talk about self-care and how that leads to empathetic leadership. Stay tuned and join us next Friday. Till then, keep reading about electric vehicles, how the space is buzzing, how the challenges are being addressed by various leaders and stakeholders like government, and how private entrepreneurs are trying to create and connect on various fronts to build this ecosystem for India. So thank you so much. Keep learning, and we would love to present great leaders like this week after week, month after month, every Friday or every weekend that we'd like to have. So next Friday, we'll see you at 4:30 p.m. And do take care. And thank you for joining all of us. Bye.